Police union warns government not to interfere with the RPNGC. Employees of PNG Power locked out of office. And Ireland is concerned of increased settlers on Lihir.
This is National EMTV News with Lorraine Genia.
Good evening and welcome to Tuesday's news. PNG Power Limited employees were locked out of their head office this morning in Port Moresby. They were surprised to see banners hanging on the fence requesting for PNG Power Chief Executive Officer John Tangit and former PPL Board Chairman Larry Undergully to return to office. Tangit was arrested and charged yesterday for allegations of gross misconduct during his term in office between 2009 and 2015.
PPL employees did not know who put up these banners, but they clearly showed that PPL's managing director is not welcome at the head office. Acting CEO John Yanis allowed staff in and urged them to go back to work.
Let us just wait and see what the normal process takes place, okay? But for the employees, my advice to you is that we have to return back to work. And whatever that is happening, let us all work together so that if anything that happens, then the management can take up and then we can advance further on that.
Yanis told staff that there are many uncertainties at the management level. Currently, CEO John Tangit, who was reinstated a week ago by the new board, was suspended again yesterday afternoon for 14 days over allegations of misconduct. The allegations are linked to the Ngoram electrification project and other transactions that he had made. Yanis also advised his employees that the new PPL board, headed by Chairman Andrew O'Gill, is not ready to meet with the employees as yet.
What I wanted is, as long as we are normal, then I think they will come because they are feeling scared to come in as well. I have to remind you that. Only for it come. And I told them that, no, I'm all right. The workers are, we got the best workers.
Meanwhile, the employees made it clear to the management team that what had happened has nothing to do with the union or the employees' grievances, but pure politics.
It's not about management, it's not about the MT, it's not about John Tangit, it's not about who's the other guy, Mangos. It's not about everybody, it's about this organization that is owned by the 7.5 million people of this country. And we've had enough of it. And today's indication shows that it has come to the brim and it's going to pour out. And whoever is playing politics and kicking this company around, they need to be careful. Please, EMT, inform them that.
After the meeting this morning, MTV caught John Mangos trying to enter the office car park gate before being turned away by security guards. Basinata Yama, National EMTV News.
Andrew O'Gill, chairman of PNG Power, announced the suspension of John Tangit as CEO of PNG Power. He said the suspension follows an investigation into serious allegations of gross misconduct during Tangit's term in office between 2009 and 2015. The allegations relate to the Ngoram electrification project and other transactions within PNG Power. Tangit has been given 14 days to submit a written response to each of the allegations. John Yanis has been appointed acting CEO of PNG Power Limited. Though the Grand Chief has announced his retirement, the Somare legacy will continue to reign in politics. This morning, Pangu Party leader and Bulolo MP Sam Basil announced the appointment of Dulcie Somare Brash as the party's strategic policy advisor. Basil says her appointment is timely as the country lacks strategic policies to guide leaders in decision-making.
Amidst the recent events of political groupings, Pangu Party leader Sam Basil declared the appointment of Dulciana Somare Brash as the strategic policy advisor to the party. Dulcie is the daughter of Pangu founder, Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare. Basil says leaders need strategic policy advisors to be cautious when making decisions for the country and its people.
And we believe that in Pangu Party, Dulcie also brings back the connection between the Grand Chief, the founder of Pangu Party, back into Pangu Party. So we believe that the new generation of Pangu Party will now take over Pangu Party to make sure that we deliver what everybody believes in Pangu in the past.
Dalsiana was born in 1973 when a dead Sir Michael Somare was appointed as the chief minister. She says a life in politics will continue to embrace the Somare legacy and support Pangu Party.
I hope that I'll be able to bring some personal experience and certainly a political understanding of politics in Papua New Guinea to the machinery.
Pangu member and Goilala MP William Saab says a lady of such caliber will drive the party's machinery forward as the 2017 general election looms.
I believe that Dalsi's engagement with the party, Pangu Party, we can set a platform for the next generation of leaders.
On a more serious note, the deputy opposition leader called on Prime Minister Peter O'Neill and relevant government agencies to speak the truth about the state of the country's economy.
We are having a serious problem with our economy. And in Pangu Party, we would like to steer our reliance off from the non-renewable resources back to agriculture.
Jack Lapave Jr., National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, wearing his hat as the deputy opposition leader, Sam Basil called on Prime Minister Peter O'Neill to settle differences within the management of PNG Power Limited. He said the state-owned entity has faced enough problems and issues must be solved to allow the flow of electricity services in the country.
The Prime Minister and the government should come down and resolve those issues quickly, because everybody in the city around the country, they depend on the constant supply of power, and the rot in the system that is being exposed by the media, it's not good and it's not healthy. And I think the Prime Minister should intervene and make sure that they restore the normalcy back into the operations of PNG Power.
The police union has issued a stern warning to the government to stop interfering with the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary. They claim to have received credible information that there are moves to replace the current police commissioner, Gary Bucky. The union says it is tired of the constant change in police commissioners.
Police force will be on standby to withdraw police operations nationwide if the government continues to interfere into the constabulary by changing the police commissioner, Gary Bucky. The police force is on standby to withdraw operations nationwide if the government continues to interfere with the constabulary. The union is concerned that what is currently happening in the Correctional Service and PNG Power Limited will happen to them. Police Union President Lowa Tambua said for the last 5 years, the police force have seen career persons appointed as commissioners and later replaced without any valid reasons. He said that changes have created instability among the members of the constabulary that can lead to insecurity.
Because if this warning falls on deaf ears, the police union will want to know whether enough and loyalty do have limitations. Let me repeat. If this warning falls on deaf ears, enough. Maybe sick, I'm enough. We're already sick. So what are these so-called politicians and bureaucrats trying to achieve?
The union is putting the trust on Commissioner Bucky and said this is not the right time to remove him. They said Bucky is spearheading the police modernization program and has also embarked on removing corrupt practices in the force.
We have said enough already. Leave the commissioner alone, leave the police force alone, and let us run the business. We can do it. We have been mandated. We have been, we've proven ourselves already. What is the hiccup of all of these things? Huh? Mr. Bucky, the current commissioner, has been on the job for about 6 months or so.
Meanwhile, the union's General Secretary, Clemens Kanau, is calling on the police around the country to be on standby. He said they are making a unanimous decision to be vigilant to fight for the good of the country.
We will ask for your support should the government fail to adhere to our instructions. If it's going to be replaced for weeding out corrupt policemen, government, you got it wrong. And today, I'm calling on all my members throughout the country, all the policemen, be vigilant to your work, do your work, but be on standby for the next course of instruction from the police union. If it means withdrawing your service, be prepared for it. We're going to save this country, we're going to save the police force. Sure.
The union is calling on the government to refrain from causing instability, instead provide security for the people and the upcoming international events. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News.
Lihir Island has seen an increase in the number of illegal settlements over the last 10 years. The large migration of people has been spurred by mining activities on the island. Lihir village leaders have seen the need to control it and have made a special plea to the New Ireland provincial government to assist. Edwin Fidelis reports. The body of the mine worker who died while on duty at Oktedi mine has been recovered. OTML Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Peter Graham confirmed the body being recovered this morning, 5 days after the worker was buried in a landslip. He said that whilst it was a very sad day for the family and for OTML employees, it was a relief to have recovered our lost workmate after recovery efforts were hampered by weather and risk of further rockfall. Mr. Graham also extended his sincere thanks to those involved in the recovery for their persistence and diligence. Arrangements for colleagues to pay their respects will be made after the worker's family arrives on site. EMTV, under Media New Guinea Limited, has set up a new satellite dish farm consisting of 8 high-capacity antennas erected in Telecom PNG's compound at Baroko, Port Moresby. The new set of antennas is the company's first step towards digital transmission, a step that will enhance the quality and volume of content on your number one to watch. For EMTV, the new infrastructure marks the start of a number of exciting projects this year. EMTV viewers can expect more interesting quality content in the coming months.
The new satellite dish farm and antennas mark the first step towards switching from analog to digital transmission. Viewers can expect better quality content and more content to choose from. The new setup has the capability to download C-band as well as Ku-band services and has the capacity to receive transmission of over 400 TV and radio services from around the world. The infrastructure has already been utilized to relay programming from Australia's Channel 7 network, with the airing of Channel 7's popular Sunrise Breakfast show now airing from 5:30 each morning on EMTV. According to Media New Guinea Limited's CEO, Banu Sud, transitioning from analog to digital is top priority for the company. The new infrastructure is also to feature extensively in the programming for the 2016 Rio Olympics, to which EMTV holds the free-to-air broadcast rights, and the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in November, to which EMTV will be official PNG broadcaster. For loyal viewers of your number one to watch, this means more variety and better quality content to choose from. Neville Choi, National EMTV News.
And still to come on National EMTV News, Education Department's call for TFF acquittals, a proposal to manufacture stock feed, and Number One Super Fund rolls out the discount ID program. Stay with us. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Over 100,000 people who live in settlements without piped water systems use the Bumbu River as a water source for cooking and drinking. The river is supporting overpopulated settlements along its banks, and water contamination and pollution has become a concern for families. This story brings to light the need for improved access to water and proper sanitation. Bethany Harriman with this report.
The Bumbu River runs through Leh City and it's become a main source of water for people living in settlements along its banks. Today we visited a section of the river behind Nawai settlement to see how people use the water. What we saw were mothers and children bathing, drinking and washing laundry in the river next to filth and contamination. Animal and human waste has polluted the river. A pig snuffs through rubbish looking for food. A child sits meters away washing. It's a scene that brings into question the inadequate efforts made by the government to improve the people's access to safe drinking water and improved hygiene.
Washing plate. Every day Every day because no water supply. The settlement stop long.
While families came and left the river like any other day, Moana Simon, a mother, explained that there is no water supply near her home at Nawai Block, and this was the only source because the rain hasn't come. Most settlements in Leh do not have access to piped water systems. They depend on rainwater to meet the drinking and hygiene needs for the family.
Close to the city, was a plastered. Every day, because I come Bumbu Warachol. Because I warab cook, drink, wash,
During dry seasons, or in this case, the El Nino-like effects being experienced, there is extreme shortage of water, and most families are forced to use water from the Bumbu River.
Scientific studies will find out exactly if the water is fit for human consumption. But at this stage, the people don't have a choice. Successive governments have failed to provide adequate drinking water that's safe for human consumption.
We were told that studies have been done on the water from the Bumbu River by students at the Papua New Guinea University of Technology and Leh's Polytechnic Institute of PNG. But the results of these studies have yet to be made public, and the government continues to neglect this vital area of human survival. The United Nations has reported that PNG has made progress in improving access to clean water since 1990 and sanitation facilities, but they also state that there is still much more work to be done. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News, Leh.
The Education Department is calling on schools to acquit funds of the year's TFF receipts from the government. This follows complaints raised by schools on the late arrival of TFF funds from the Education Department. Director of TFF, Corette Naig, told a conference of school principals that the Education Department's requirement for acquittals will determine TFF for schools.
As long as schools receive a share of the government's TFF pie, they are all required by the Education Department to furnish a report on funds used and how it's budgeted for. It comes as many schools in the country continue to raise concerns against the government for late delivery of TFF funds to begin their operations. The Education Department releases funds for a year based on reports of previous expenditures from schools.
All schools must have a budget. And all schools must have proper financial records for all the funds that they expend at the school level, and they must expend for the intended purposes.
This year, the Education Department's TFF team revealed most schools did not acquit but were given their first portion of TFF instead. It is hoped that all schools comply by procedures set by the Education Department to make TFF distribution more convenient and quicker.
You must be following proper finance management there, proper management at your level, and that makes it easier for you to do acquittals at the end of every year.
The Education Department is now calling on all schools to be prompt with their TFF reports to avoid disruptions in TFF delivery that in most cases affect schools' operations. Colin Barilai, National EMTV News, Leh.
A project proposal is now with the Trade Commerce Department to manufacture stock feed using waste kernel from palm oil. The project proposal aims to create jobs and adequately supply Papua New Guinea while stopping the import of stock feed. The Trade Commerce Department says the proposal will be scrutinized before it's approved for any other steps in making the project a reality.
Officers from the trade commerce industry were given a brief presentation of how the waste kernel will be used to produce local stock feed in West New Britain province. The project proposal basically is to establish a mill and collect used kernel from the oil palm industry to manufacture stock feed which can be used to feed fish, poultry, birds, pig and cattle.
That there is potential in utilizing those agricultural industrial waste that can be converted into stock feed.
Currently, there are 2 stock feed suppliers in the country and are foreign-owned companies. This project is set to enhance the production of stock feed with a target production of 10,000 tons per annum. A budget of 14.2 million kina is needed to kickstart this project. However, the trade and commerce industry will analyze the proposal before assisting.
After the presentation now, we're going to do the technical assessment, the financial evaluation, and all this commercial viability. We have technical officers in the department who can do that.
For the people of West New Britain, this project aims to create job opportunities and add value to the economy of the province. The presentation was welcomed by the Trade Commerce Department, stating the project falls under the categories of downstream processing and supports PNG's SME policy.
Calling on the department to really support the West Palm stock feed project to make it a reality by, getting along with the other government line agencies, giving his backing and support.
Jack Lapava Jr., National EMTV News.
PNG's telecommunications service provider, B-Mobile Vodafone, opened its first corporate flagship store at Vision City's new wing today. Designed to worldwide Vodafone standards, the store is their largest yet and can cater for both retail as well as business customers.
The 100-square-meter store was built to accommodate B-Mobile Vodafone's expanding customer base. The company's chief marketing officer said at the inauguration today that the store was like any other Vodafone flagship store around the world.
Everything with respect to design and principles is in line with what Vodafone does everywhere else. The most important thing really is the people, the training, because when you talk about a store, a retail experience, what's most important is the experience that people get when they walk in.
Various stations, including the Tech Zone, Happy to Help and Pay Here counters, are components that are relatively new in this store compared to previously established stores. Customers will be able to buy new connections, replace SIM cards, buy airtime or buy handsets from the wide range displayed in the store. Among these stations is the Business Concierge, installed specifically to serve their business customers.
That is specifically to address our business customers, because now we've got a growing community of business users who buy our postpaid connection, our postpaid data plans, our postpaid CUG plans. So Business Concierge will be for those customers. They can come and inquire for new connections, new postpaid plans. They can even come and buy or pay their bills, their postpaid bills. They can do that there. So this store.
B-Mobile Vodafone looks to establish similar branches in other provinces to facilitate their growing customer base and what Panjwani described as a customer-centered approach. Melissa Gaviro, National EMTV News.
155,000 members of Superfund No. 1 Super will now be able to get discounts up to 45% from selected stores and companies. The discount program that was once available only in Port Moresby will now be available countrywide. No. 1 Super now has over 80 discount partners and are hoping to increase that figure with the support of business houses in Papua New Guinea.
This one here will be provided to...
No. 1 Super has announced that selected business houses across the country will give discounts once their No. 1 Super identification card is presented at the counter. CEO Gary Tunstall acknowledged goods and services providers around the country for partnering with them and encourage members to take advantage of the discounts.
Discount providers in other provinces throughout the country, and as a result of that, they've now obtained over 80 providers.
Also, 75% of the discounts provided in the provinces can be used to purchase building materials. Eligible members for NSL Housing Advance intending to construct a permanent house will be able to do so with a discount up to 45%. Businesses will benefit from this agreement because their 155,000 members will be shopping with them.
Discounts are coming from property businesses that provide housing, timber and construction and development goods.
Charlie Gil-Chibi, Chief Manager of Manager Services, said that for members who do not have an ID should go to your nearest No. 1 Super office to purchase one.
Those programs and campaigns we will use to get members to come forward and get an ID card.
Adelaide Sirok, Sky National, EMTV News.
Bank of Papua New Guinea today signed an MOU partnership program with World Vision PNG, adding to the cause eliminating financial exclusion for poverty, eradication, wealth creation and growth in PNG. The MOU entails World Vision to further expand the MEP and CFI projects to other centres in the country.
The signing of the MOU partnership program between Bank of Papua New Guinea and World Vision PNG Trust took place today at the Bank of Papua New Guinea headquarters in downtown Port Moresby. The partnership sees World Vision to join the Microfinance Expansion Project and the Centre for Excellence and Financial Inclusion to roll out financial literacy projects in the autonomous region of Bougainville, with further expansion into other provinces.
Our role is to, in the financial sector, is to extend the financial services to those rest of Papua New Guinea, and to ensure that Papua New Guineans have an opportunity to benefit, or not to benefit, but also to have access to some of these financial services.
In line with World Vision's focus areas of eradicating poverty around the world, the partnership is a means for addressing these global challenges here in Papua New Guinea.
This is really important to us because we're working with communities, youth, women and men, and developing savings groups as well as economic development projects around small farm holders. And so what we want to do is to enable them to learn how to, if they make money, how do they use that money well.
The project itself is valued at $24 million. To date, of the 180 target mark, the project has seen 120 people trained in financial literacy, with the overall objective of having people develop a positive attitude towards managing their personal finances. Hope Imaka, National EMTV News.
And now looking at our finance news, the kina closed at $0.3265 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3190, $0.4217 Australian dollars, $0.2842 euro and 36.04 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York closed, coffee and cocoa closed higher, while gold and copper closed the day lower. Crude oil also closed lower, copper closed higher, and palm oil closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 15.82 points higher, the ASX closed at 74.1 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed at 73.8 points lower. More local stories after the break, including the research on dolphins in the Kikori Delta. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Bail has been granted by the Waigani National Court on 2 PNGDF soldiers who were recently arrested and charged for mutiny. Peter Perari and Philip Kiak are out on a 2,000 kina bail. They were part of a group of 11 soldiers also charged for mutiny in December last year. Judge Alan David ruled in the soldiers' favour after a lawyer representing the state made no objections to the bail application. Among the 10 bail conditions, the soldiers must remain in the National Capital District until their case is over and they cannot commit another offence. These soldiers were deployed to the Highlands in 2015 for operation and were accused of misconduct while on duty. 3 postgraduate science students from the University of Papua New Guinea today received research scholarships to research rare dolphins and dugongs found in the Kikori Delta of Papua New Guinea. This comes through a joint partnership between UPNG and James Cook University of Australia. ExxonMobil has granted 350,000 kina to support the research.
Eliza Nagombi, the master's recipient, and Wilma Meva and Monica Kolkia, honor students at the UPNG, will be carrying out research on a rare dolphin and dugong in the Kikori Basin in Gulf Province. Dr. Isabel Baisley is leading the research in the Kikori Basin. She had been undertaking research on dolphins since 2011 and found rare species of dolphins, the snubfin dolphin, which was thought to be only found in northern Australia.
But as a result of the research that we've conducted over the last couple of years, we've confirmed that it's actually the snubfin dolphin and the Australian humpback dolphin.
Monica Colkier said that she was thankful for the scholarship that will allow her to further her career. She said that she hoped the research would determine if the snubfin dolphins are extremely rare to Kikori Basin or found elsewhere in PNG.
Confirm if the species is rare in Papua New Guinea, endemic in Papua New Guinea, and all that. But it'll be very exciting.
UPNG Registrar Jennifer Popat said that the scholarship was encouraging for students to look into research and also thanked ExxonMobil for funding.
Them for the support in research to help our young Papua New Guineans to build research and development skills, which are important for the conservation of the unique biodiversity.
The snubfin is a small dolphin species. Before it was found, it was thought that only Irrawaddy, the main species of dolphins, only occurred in southern PNG. Adelaide Xerox Kari National, MTV News.
Trukai Sports is next. Our boxers aim to qualify for Rio, and Jeremy Moggy with news on football. I'll be back with the details.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Papua New Guinea's male boxers returned to the Philippines early this morning for training and preparations leading up to the Asian Oceania Olympic qualifiers in Beijing, China. The Asian Oceania Olympic qualifiers will start on the 25th of March.
These are pictures of the 4 male boxers during the 2015 Pacific Games. Charles Keama, Thaddeus Katua and Jonathan Keama took out gold in their respective divisions, while Andrew Asiga settled for silver. After the Pacific Games, the boxers attended the National Boxing Championships in Kavieng, where the member for Kavieng Open, Ben Micah, said the government would support elite boxers in the next quest, which was to qualify for the Rio Olympic Games. The boxers arrived in Baguio City, Philippines early this month and have been undergoing intensive training since their arrival at the Baguio Teachers Camp. Few days into training, Jonathan was struck with a flu, which resulted in him having to miss 2 days of training. His sheer determination saw him come back after a day's absence and straight into sparring. The boxers have sparring sessions with Australian and Malaysian boxers who are also training there. The team had a rest day on Sunday and resumed week 2 of the high-performance training yesterday. They fly to Beijing on the 22nd of March. The Asian Oceania Olympic qualifiers includes all Oceania and Asian countries that have yet to qualify boxers for Rio, Brazil in August. Elijah Levitt, National MTV Sports.
To football now, the PNG national team recently announced their train-on squad for the upcoming OFC Nations Cup in May. The Nations Cup offers the 8 participating nations a half chance at qualification for the FIFA World Cup in Russia in 2018.
The road to Russia will not be easy. In total, there will be 4 qualifying stages, with the first already completed as Somare qualified in top spot to book a berth in the second qualification process, with 7 other countries in the Pacific. Somare had been placed in Pool A alongside Papua New Guinea, Tahiti and New Caledonia, while World Cup finalists New Zealand have been pooled with Fiji, Vanuatu and the Solomon Islands in Pool B. PNG national coach Flemin Siritslev has stated he is confident in Papua New Guinea, although there will be mounting pressure on them as hosts.
It's difficult for me to say because I don't know how Papua New Guinea has been playing before, but I have a certain structure that I want our team to have, and actually for this structure we have been working on this now in 4 trainings in 3 days, and I think we have achieved a bit during those 3 days here.
The OFC Nations Cup will serve only as a second phase of the 4-stage route. Due to the quality of the field within the Pacific and the difficulty in the various countries to have continuous competitive matches, the long qualifying stage in the region will ensure a better chance for Russia 2018. Under the current structure, the top 6 teams from the OFC Nations Cup will play in another qualifying campaign to decide a final 2. And the winner of that 2-legged playoff will meet the 5th best South American team to make it to 2018. New Zealand are heads-on favorites to qualify for Russia. They remain the only Pacific nation to qualify in any World Cup, although they crashed out of the final playoff against Mexico in 2013 by a demoralizing 9-3 aggregate. Papua New Guinea travels to Solomon Islands on the 22nd of March in 2 crucial friendlies prior to the Nations Cup. Jeremy Moggy, National, EMTV Sports.
PNG men's national coach Fleming Sertzlev has announced his 23-man train-on squad for 2 upcoming friendlies against the Solomon Islands national team in Honiara later this month. The squad will assemble in Port Moresby on the 21st of March and travel out the day after to meet the hosts. Sertzlev said he will use these 2 matches to see where they stand as a team, especially competing against a team who is also preparing for the same event.
You might not be popular when you say it, but actually the teams with the best defense, they are always the teams on top of the tables. So you could say it's important that you have a strong defense, and it gives confidence for the other players, for the midfield and for the attackers. Because many times it actually shows up that the teams with the strongest defense, they are also the teams at the same time scoring most goals. You can watch every table all around the world, and you will see that the teams who had conceded less goals, they are on top of the table. But they have, on many occasions, also scored most goals.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. In the midst of challenges with funding to host the 7th PNG Games, the host organising committee has called on business houses in Kimbe Town to support the Games. Deputy Chairman of the HOC, Daka Wagai, said the Games will create opportunities that will benefit the town economically, with the influx of people flooding in during the 2-week period between November and December.
The PNG Games is without a doubt one of the biggest sporting events in the nation, providing a platform for all 22 provinces to unite, creating an avenue to showcase and develop the raw and untapped talent throughout Papua New Guinea. The hosting of an event of this kind also creates opportunities for local businessmen and women. Daka Wagai, Deputy Chairman of the Host Organising Committee, says while the local community of Kimbe should take ownership of the event this year, it is also important for corporate houses to support the initiative.
The game will bring a lot of development to this province, and at the same time, it will bring a lot of economic benefits to everyone. The corporate houses, business houses around here, it will be a very good time for them to make business, and also our local population here. That is why we need total cooperation in the local community here in Kimbe, West Britain, so that it will be an event of a lifetime that will be here.
While Kimbe doesn't have the privilege of several million kina sporting infrastructures like Port Moresby, the benefits of hosting the Games and the current developments will change one's perspective of Kimbe as a small and underdeveloped town.
As we have said, for main centers like Port Moresby and Leh, they have existing facilities already, so it is a matter of doing few touch-ups and improvement to make sure that the sporting facilities are in order for the Games. Here, we are trying to build new ones, and this is the real challenge on us.
With the PNG Games coming to smaller centres, it gives us an opportunity to develop our sporting infrastructure. Obviously, everything has been based out of POM. I don't think POM should get all the sporting infrastructure. I think it's important that other provinces have an opportunity to be able to host certain events, and hopefully by the end of 2016 we'll be able to get international matches.
It's all about the long-term benefits for Matthews and the HOC. What these infrastructural developments will bring to Kimbe in the coming years will be a flood of opportunities to host and stage many other sporting events alike.
Since the announcement of the Export Rugby Championships and the National Sevens Series, the East New Britain Rugby Football Union has been quick to jump on board to support the hosting of the NGI leg in Rabaul Town. President of the ENBRFU, Hubert Minana, said since the union's discussions with the Rabaul District Sports Council, they are supportive of the prospect of hosting the national event at the Maltec Oval in Rabaul Town. With rugby paving the way forward for codes to follow in the district and province, the Sports Council will also be looking at putting an end to their current ward and LLG games next year, as they encourage all codes to follow the format and competition structure of the ENBRFU. The South African Cheetahs have registered their first win in the 2016 Super Rugby season, following a 31-13 defeat over Japan's Sunwolves in their first ever Super Rugby match in Singapore. This win comes as a bonus to the Cheetahs having lost their first two opening matches, but a massive blow for the Sunwolves having played at their second home. Meanwhile, the Lions could not match an attacking Highlanders side as they aim to register back-to-back wins in New Zealand. The Highlanders took lead from the opening minutes, leading 10-3 and dominating ball possession all throughout.
Real workout for that Highlanders defence. They've taken it quickly, and here's Aaron Smith.
Both Aaron Smith and Ben Smith were outstanding for the Highlanders, hitting the ball at pace, along with quick thinking, scoring a couple of tries for the Kiwi franchise. The Highlanders, however, spent the full 80 minutes playing defensive rugby, and they surely put on display one of the most outstanding defensive performances since the commencement of the 2016 Super Rugby season.
Beauty!
But while the Highlanders dominated in their attack, they were uneven at the scrums. Brendan Edmonds was taken off the scrum after being placed under pressure.
They've been able to score. Now they're over for a second.
Nonetheless, their forwards put on standout performances. With brilliant defence and providing strong ball protection, they did the job all forwards should ultimately do, giving the backs the platform for attack. This weekend, they take on Aussie Conference leaders Waratahs at the Allianz Stadium. This will be a match worth catering for, as both teams have proven to be fit in defence and attack.
Trukai Sports ends on that note. The weather details for the next 24 hours when we return.
Trukai Sports.
Now looking at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region, all centres expecting rain or showers. In the Momase region, thundery showers for Ley City and some showers for Madang, Wewak and Bunnymoor. In the New Guinea Islands region, a shower or two for Lorengau and Kavieng, some showers for Kokopo, Rabaul and Kimbe, and thundery showers for Buka. And in the Highlands region, cloudy in Mount Hagen and some showers for Goroka, Mendi, Wabag and Kundiawa. And before we go, Lihir Island has seen an increase in the number of illegal settlements over the last 10 years. The large migration of people has been spurred by mining activities on the island. Lihir village leaders have seen the need to control it and have made a special plea to the New Ireland provincial government to assist. Edwin Fidelis reports.
In the last 20 years, the growth in the mining sector on the island has fueled an increase in the number of people who have chosen to come and live here. Census estimates now put the total population of Lihir and its nearby islands at around 18,000. Along with the mine workers employed by the mine, there are others who have come from the highlands and other provinces in the New Guinea Islands region to settle here. But these developments has come with new challenges for the Lihir people.
All settlement. Now we pull up here.
The issue of illegal settlement is not a new story in Papua New Guinea. Financial conveniences and employment opportunities have spurred the large migration of people to come here. Many don't get directly employed by the mine but chose to remain.
This line one big place you through that me like him government, national, provincial, na event company, lo sana pante mipla, lo make sure mipla limit him. This line all illegal settlers lo ye.
The concern is coming from at least one ward member on the island who sees the need to control the number of illegal settlements on the island.
Lo Ley City, lo Mosby, all papang ground long up, all kama pol sem all foreigner, lo ground blow, lo Kimbe, lo Lihir emin big place, all sem all narblap, Lihir Miglik Island tasol.
Joe Nasele and other community leaders know all too well that if they don't take the issue of illegal settlement seriously, Lihir will follow the same path as Ley and Port Moresby, where tribal conflicts and land grabbing will become serious issues fueled by tensions between a rich mix of ethnicities. Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News.
And that's the news, sports and weather for tonight, Tuesday the 15th of March 2016. Thanks for your company. Pleasant viewing. Good night.